YouTubers, this is Camera Prepper here. Today we're going to be talking about 10 things that a new prepper should have in, or should obtain to get in the next, next couple of months or so, or in your plans or in your goals. These 10 things are what I feel that you should have. Obviously that will be different from other people's opinions and other preppers alike as well, but I'd love to hear comments below to say what your 10 things are. There might be some stuff I actually missed as well, so that would be brilliant if obviously you can put a comment below. My 10 things, I'm going to go through them and say the reason why on some of them as well. First one is very important. Obviously you need it in the house whether you're a prepper or not, to be honest, and hopefully that you all have, is a decent medical kit. Not the basic box standard kit. I mean, you can buy one, a basic kit, but you need to add to it as you go along as well, because it's very, very important, because you'll find that in a basic first aid kit, which I'll show you. This is a little tiny survival kit. It's a Highlander one, if I remember rightly. Sorry, Pro Force one first aid kit. I've got a bigger one obviously, and all it's got is in here is just plasters and as well, and scissors. Okay, small scissors. Again, this is very good for obviously to carry around, but for in the house, not so good. So you need a decent sized first aid kit with everything from forceps to even things from face masks and CPR, to do CPR and things like that as well, including splints and things like that. So first aid kit is very important. Second thing is water. Now water, obviously it's water means life to me. Life is water. But having a substantial amount of supply of water is very important, even if you only have 3 to 4 days worth of water. I understand that water, if you store too much water, it takes too much space. By all means you can do a water catchment system or anything like that, but water is very important. You can buy a 5 litre bottle of water nowadays for just over £1. So having a few of them, just enough to keep you going for 3 or 4 days, is very important. Third thing is purity tablets or purification tablets. Purification tablets are there for if you run out of water, you have to find means of obtaining water from another source and you're not too sure whether it's dangerous to drink or too polluted to drink. Purification tablets will help clean it, including household supply like bleach as well. Bleach will help it, thin bleach preferably. Boiling water as well will help, but purifications, reason why I put purification tablet down, it is you can buy a packet of 50, about that big, and it doesn't take too much space, whereas obviously excuse me, bleach, obviously if you carry too much bleach, obviously it's going to take up too much space. I'm not saying that you don't need bleach for other means, which you do for disinfectant, and obviously if there's a disease problem and things like that, so you need to have bleach as well, but purification tablets for water. Food, obviously food, preferably tin food, your favourite tin food, MREs or what they call meal ready to eat. You can buy ready to eat ones, or you can boil them in the bag, or you can buy dehydrated ones. Dehydrated ones last longer, whereas MREs obviously I think last up to 5 to 10 years. Quote me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, so you've got tins, pasta, spaghetti, and this is all dried. MREs, meals ready to eat, and dehydrated meals ready to eat as well. The dehydrated ones, you have to add boiling water to it, seal the bag, wait for 5-10 minutes, and it's all edible. Well, some are edible. As you well know, some MREs are a bit, it tastes a bit funny. Next thing, number 5, is a small stove. Now Obviously, small stove obviously depends on what you're doing. If you're bugging out, the smaller the better. This is the small survival one. However, you can go to a local camping store and buy a stove which is about that size, and it takes you can even buy one with two hobs. I've got one stove that's got 2 hobs on it, so obviously because I've got seven people with my family, and obviously I would have more coming to my house because I've allowed it, but yeah, so a small stove will do. Just in case, obviously, when the gas supply is cut off and you can't cook food, and obviously boil water if you need to. Next thing, torches and candles. Torches is important. Make sure you have a battery backup, so tons of batteries with you. Not too preference on what torch you have, it depends on what you can afford, to be honest. You can buy torches that are really expensive, have a lot of lumens, but by all means you can buy a cheap and cheerful torch to keep you going around the house. By all means you can buy cheap ones for the kids, so they have something to keep themselves entertained, and make them feel confident as well. But you also can obviously buy a little bit more expensive one in new, and you've seen my one in my video before, which is the red line one here. Okay, this is Red Line Tactical. That's the one I carry, and I keep it close by to my bed as well as it obviously next to my bug out bag. Candles, with the torches and candles. Candles, yes, you can either buy a 4-hour one, which is the little tea lights, but you can go up to 24, up to 72 hours, if not even bigger as well. It depended on the room that you have in your house, if you've got enough room, and also obviously what you need them for as well. I carry my bug out bag of 4 and 8 hour ones. In my house I've got 24 and 72 hour candles, so it all depends on what you want to use them for, and your desire to need them as well. Lighter. Now a lighter obviously is very, very important. Yes, you can buy, obviously for a bug out situation you can buy a flint and steel, but for in the house, for more safety, carrying a good supply of lighters is very important, including matches as well. So lighters and matches are very important. Obviously when you need to light your stove to boil water and so forth and cook food, so lighters are very important. Books. Now books for me, I love reading, so it's obviously my opinion. You can have books, games, anything like that, but books, especially when there's no electricity, no TV, no nothing, things can get quite boring and time can tick on. So if you are not doing anything, if you've done all your chores, your routine, you can sit down and read a book. I tend to carry with me again, SAS survival guide, anything to do with preparedness, to be honest. So that's why I'm finish my routines. I'm still learning and gaining knowledge even during a crisis situation. Sleeping bag. A sleeping bag for obviously in your bug out bag as well as in your house. Pure reason, obviously it can include blankets as well, but a sleeping bag is very important. Again, it's going to get cold during the night. Especially if there's the gas and the heating is non-existent, so you're going to get very cold. So having a sleeping bag to hand, to spare, is very important to keep you warm. Preferably, it depends on what climate you have in your area, but I would prefer a 3 to 4 season sleeping bag, because of my area where I live. It can, and I think the lowest temperature it's reached is -15, so having a 3 to 4 season bag is very important to me. But if you're in a hot climate, obviously 1 or 2 seasons you might get away with, so just check your area and just go with your preference with your sleeping bag. And last thing, either a bag or a box to contain them. If you can have both, by all means, to hand. i.e. a bag out bag ready in case you need to go, and a box. So a plastic box with a sealed container, and so you can put them away. So you can gather them all together now, all the items, stick them in a box, stick them under the attic or somewhere that it's not to be forgotten, but it's away from your daily life, so you don't remember, so it's not in your way, so to speak. But yeah, having a box or a bag to keep them in is very important, so when a crisis situation comes, you're not running around and trying to get to the items itself, so you can just literally pull them out. So those are my 10 items, so I'll quickly go through them again. First aid kit, water, purification tablets, or obviously other means like bleach, food, enough for about 72 hours, a small stove or a bigger stove depending on the situation, torches and candles, lighter, books or games, and last but not least is your bag or your box. So those are my type 10 items that I think that every new prepper should have. By all means, if any other preppers out there have any comments, please put your 10, that'd be brilliant, to obviously get new preppers and any ideas that what to collect first. But other than that, hope you enjoyed the video, hope it was informative. Please like and subscribe below. Until then, this is Camera Prepper out.